Thank y'all for sticking and staying with us. Now, y'all know I couldn't let comedian Jay Smiles go after the first three on air segments. So, thank y'all for staying with us for the fourth segment, the off air segment, where we get into some things. Uh, Jay, I have to say, I am very intrigued by your journey because I don't think I ever seen a funny, as I was saying earlier, I don't think I've ever seen a funny attorney, a funny engineer, a funny designer, but you know, and then you and your dad's work that he's done with the Cochran firm, your daddy worked with, and you knew if it don't fit, it must have quit.
Absolutely.
I
That's
think everybody remembers where they were when OJ Simpson got off. I was in college. It was my freshman year at South Carolina State University. I was in my girlfriend's dorm room, and when the verdict came down, you know what we did, right? Boy, we celebrated. Dang, we looking fool now, ain't it?
Yeah.
I want to take that back.
Huh?
I want to take that one back.
You do?
I want to take that celebration back. Yeah.
Back.
You want to take that one back.
Well, one thing to me, affectionately, he was Uncle JC. I like to take Reverend Al Sharpton's words from Johnny's celebration of life, his memorial service, his funeral.
Mm.
I had the distinct honor of attending. I was actually in law school when he passed. I was, we had this big masterful plan of what would happen. So law school was my third degree. And so Uncle Johnny
You
and
like
my
school,
dad,
huh?
huh?
You like school, huh?
You know what it is? I like what I like. And I want what I want. And the thing was, I wanted to design stuff and I wanted to make things, and then I wanted to make laws better for people in equity. And when I tried to do it and meander my way through corporate America and policy, they were like, well, yeah, but you just need to sit down over here and be an engineer. Or you need to just sit down over here and be a designer. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Oh, so you're saying I need to go get the credentials? That's fine. So I'm going to be a purist. I really am a purist. Like if I want oysters, then I want oysters. Don't give me oyster salad. Just give me the oysters on my plate. And then when I want a salad, I'll go get a salad. Okay. So that's kind of how I did. I don't mind school. I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm gonna learn something. I'll learn how to sharpen a pencil differently. Like, oh my God, that's how you make the point pointier? Let's do it. Okay, I'm
Making it
that kind of
better.
person.
That's you.
Yeah, that's me. So me, my dad, and Uncle Johnny had a plan on how we were going to approach this new wave of the legal industry. Johnny and my father, it had gotten to the point with their careers where no one would take them to court. Johnny, it goes without saying, he won everything. And so people would not even go to trial. They would settle the case. My dad, much the same. Obviously, my dad, Jock Smith, while he was a legend and a legal giant in the field, he did not have the fame that Johnny had. But lawyers and his contemporaries did not want to face him in a jury trial. So they got to the point where, they're in their mid 50s, early 60s, and they're like, dang, we can't have fun no more. Like we can't go to the playground and like just square up on these dudes or these ladies and like go battle to battle. They were gladiators. They were both gladiators and they couldn't do it. So they were trying to figure out, how do we stay significant in changing the world of law? And that's where they thought I could come in. I always wanted to be a lawyer, even with the engineering and the invention and the design. I just knew it would come later. The idea was we would push the envelope. All right, check this out, Dr. Macie. Nobody has done it yet. I was so excited about this. This is what made me leave corporate America and go back to law school. Who the hell wanted to go to school? I didn't really want to go to school, but I needed it and I needed the credentials. What we were going to do is we were going to since everybody was willing to settle with my dad or Johnny. So it's the Jock, Johnny, and Janae show. That was our plan. All 3 J's, right? So let's do
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yeah. And so their joke was, look, baby, listen, they not gonna let us win no more. They're not gonna let us win. These white folks sick of us. These judges sick of us. So, baby, listen. You part of that hip hop generation, and you can go talk to them rappers and them athletes and stuff, and y'all the new people, and y'all can come in and it's y'all's turn. So we can get you on TV, and you can make it sound sweeter to them. And we were
Mhm.
going to embed in all of the settlements. Don't just pay the families big money for wronging them. Of course, they should get the money, but also put large parts of the settlement into proper lobbying and
Mm.
or organizations, grassroots organizations that are going to make systemic change in either stop polluting water so that a Flint, Michigan wouldn't happen.
Right.
Or it would be fixed by now. Because not
Right.
only would you make sure that the people who have now got cancer or who have died, you get them $10 million. So their families are better for next generations. But the water system is still jacked up
Yeah.
because what? We haven't changed the system. And that's what got me excited, Dr. Mason. I said, you know what?
There you go, change, fixing something.
See? And I'm fixing something for the masses because watch it. Engineering, inventing, you talking about masses of people. You don't invent a product for one person.
Right.
You don't design something for one person. My brain has always been, how can I help masses and legions of people? So that's kind of where it all came from. But then he was diagnosed with brain cancer and died my first year of law school. So, those lofty ideas kind of fell apart.
So let me ask you this, and I know the data supports that family caregivers do experience extremely high rates of stress. They also experience depression, but they don't want to do anything other than take care of their loved one. They love what they do. It's just stressful, and it does bring about, some depression at times. And I think I know what you're going to say when I ask you this in terms of which career field you felt was most valuable. But, which one out of all three of the things that you've done, one that you're currently, well, actually, all three you're currently doing, and I can explain that too. Which one do you think you were born to do?
Okay, when you say the three, you mean the ones I went to school for?
Yeah, being an inventor, engineer, a lawyer, and a caregiver. Because I can tell you how all of that goes hand in hand, but do you find yourself wanting one more than the other or feeling as if one is more beneficial than the other?
Okay, so a little bit in my brain because I went to school for 3 and one life chose me. I
Mhm.
don't my brain doesn't put them together, so I see 3 and 1
Mhm.
kinda, and then comedy, so it's kind of like 5, but I that's so if what I know, I was born to be my mother's daughter.
There you
That's
go.
what I was born. I was born to be exactly Yvette's daughter. I wasn't just born to be somebody's child. I was born to be her child.
Mhm.
And even before she needed me as a caregiver, there have been numerous occasions where I showed up for her and supported her in ways that nobody else could do. So I'm not new to um, laying it on the line for my parents.
Mhm.
So that's something to share about me and my
Mhm.
personality and my connection to them. Um, if I were to say what's the one that I put first, I put caregiving first because I stopped everything else to become a caregiver.
Mhm.
When my mom was diagnosed, I threw law, design, and engineering out the window and I 100% became her caregiver only.
Mhm.
That stress depression and the walls caving in on me because it was so abrupt. I did not my story, Dr. Macie, is not one of a slow slide. It wasn't like, "Oh, mom
It's
kinda
almost
gave
abrupt.
out the keys. Oh, she got a little bit on Aricept. Oh, me and the family talked for 2 years. Oh, we took her car keys. Oh, now she's living with this aunt. Now she" No, it was 90 days. This woman was fully functioning, running a firm where she had clients where the case involved double comma money. You know what I mean? The case
Mhm.
now, I'm not saying she got paid that, but what was on the line was 10, 20, $30 million, and she was good at it.
Yeah.
She was the fiduciary responsible for making sure where did the money go at? And she went from that to she didn't know that her mama was dead in 90 days. I never had
It
to
was
take care of my
it was
mom.
quite progressive. It was quite progressive and rapidly. Do you think your comedy was a way to deal with the disease process itself? Was it a way to deal with you becoming a caregiver overnight? Was it a way to deal with the fact that you felt that you were no longer able to do these other things that you went to school for?
Okay. You gave me a lot to chew on. I'm a handle it like this, and then you tell me if I didn't touch upon your question. Um, my mom was diagnosed in 2012. I started comedy in 2015. That 3-year gap was me trying to save her life because it looked like she was dying. I didn't know at that time that a traumatic event could instigate the onset of early Alzheimer's. I just didn't know that was an option. So I didn't initially go to a neurologist. I thought maybe she had a stroke, maybe she's having a
Mhm.
nervous breakdown
'Cause
because
it
my
was so
father
sudden.
died.
Mhm.
I didn't know. So it took a minute to get there and to figure it out. And that's why, Dr. Macy, I strongly suggest that any and everybody, no matter what your health status of health, you get a brain MRI if you're like 45 or older
Mhm.
because they need a baseline.
Mhm.
A major, major blessing for me was that for a completely unrelated health event, my mother had a brain baseline from
Oh,
about 5 or 6 years before this.
what
And
made
so
her get that? What made her get a brain scan?
she was having my mother has always had, she has interstitial cystitis, which is a
Is that
very
you said that real good. That was real nice. Bet you can't say it again.
I can't. That's why you told me to close my eyes, I was squinting. And she got it when she was diagnosed when I was 7. And it almost
Oh.
killed surgery almost killed her. It's a bladder
Mhm.
augmentation where a part of your imagine your bladder not having any the lining okay, if you got an open wound on your arm and you put salt on it,
Yeah, I'm from the country, but I don't think I'm that country. I ain't never did that.
well, if it happened, would you like it?
No, it's like
Right, right.
okay.
So my mommy's bladder is like every time urine comes in, which is all day, every day, your body is constantly putting urine in your bladder. It's just like, when is it enough for you to empty it, right?
Mhm.
My mother's bladder doesn't make the proper lining. Like, it doesn't make the lining that's supposed to protect it from the acid that's in urine.
Mhm.
So it hurts. It hurts like somebody just put salt on an open wound, like,
Mm.
all the damn time. So she's been dealing with that, which is the term is IC since forever. And because of it and some complications that arose in her 50s, we were trying to figure out a whole lot of stuff. So my dad and
Mhm.
I took off work. My dad, I think I was at Gillette at the time. My dad canceled all of his cases. We flew out to see the Sinai
Mhm.
and said, just rooter to the tutor. Just check her
That was
everything.
good. Yeah, try to figure it
Just check
out.
everything. Since we're not sure, How about scan everything? And then y'all decide anything that's out of whack, and we'll go from there. And that is the only reason why, Dr. Macie, come 6 years later, when this debacle happens in my mama's body, the neurologists were able to definitively say, oh, her brain should not have changed this
That
much
much. Mhm.
in 5 years. Had they not, they would have gone down some other rabbit hole for God knows how long. I don't really know. Who knows? That's not the point. The point is, I encourage everyone to just get one, because if they don't have that baseline, they will not. Well, I'm gonna say this: they're not as willing to lean into that. You may have a cognitive decline, and it will take longer to get medication or
Diagnosis, medication.
diagnosis where your insurance will start to help you. So, um, my father was president of the Cochran firm. He assumed that position after Johnny.
So you know what? And let me say this too, because you said that your mom had a rapid decline. I don't know your mom. Well, she my friend in my head off Instagram, Zeddy. She's
Yeah.
cool. Her
Yes.
daughter is cool too. You. Um, but I think that your dad covered up a lot for her. He accommodated for her loss, and because you weren't there and you didn't live with them, you didn't see it. So the fact that now you're able to see it because your dad is gone, it seems like a rapid decline for you. But they do cover up for each other. They do support each other's loss, and so that's what's difficult about family caregivers who are current caregivers who have not been in that role earlier, because the spouses kind of took up for each other. And so, I say kudos, to your dad. Before we get out of here, this is gonna be a little challenge for you. I'm gonna see if it's gonna be a challenge for you. Of your four,
Okay, before you give me that one, can I say something? 'Cause I don't know where you're gonna take me, Dr. Mason.
you scared, huh?
I know
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
scared. I just want to say this, and then you say
Yes,
your.
please. Okay.
Okay, no,
Yes.
no, I won't. No, no, no. Bring it. Hey, I'm
I'm
here.
no, it's gonna be good. You're gonna be able to handle it. But yeah, what would you like to say
No,
before
no.
we
I want your listeners and viewers to fully benefit. If anything that I've been through can help half a person,
Mhm.
I'm here to share it. I'm not here to keep none of my story to myself, because it ain't helping me none. You know what I mean? I
You're
already lived.
experiencing it, yeah.
I'm experiencing it still. So the thing was, because my father, when he passed, he was president of the National Cochran firm. When
Mm.
my mom got sick, she was still running her firm. I was opening, my father and I, but I was going to be running it, was opening a very significant, substantial business in Las Vegas. It was the first, well, I opened it anyway, and it ended up being the first business owned by a Black person on the strip in Las Vegas.
Oh
So
wow.
those were the three big things that were happening. So then my father passes, and I need to run his estate,
Mm.
not a small or not a simple estate, and try to figure out if in fact my mother's dying at all, or if
Mm.
whatever's going on, can we fix it? So those things were all happening at the same time. So it took me 3 years just to get myself calm enough to
Mm.
even realize that I
And
was
level
falling
headed.
apart. I
Mhm.
didn't even know I was falling apart. I'd gained 50 pounds.
Whoa.
I gained 50 pounds.
Losing yourself.
Losing myself. I was drinking Remy Martin 1738 like it
Oh,
was
oh,
iced tea in the summer.
1738. Okay.
Hello. And I was drinking it like it was hot tea in the winter, and nobody could tell because that's how high my stress was. I was absolutely stressed. I was absolutely depressed, but it was 3 years at that level, at that capacity before I could say, "Oh, this this ain't gonna work." What happened was I walked into a wall. I was trying to go lay down in the bed.
Like figuratively or literally?
No, literally. I
Oh.
was trying to go from my bathroom to get in the bed, and I was like, "There's the bed, silly girl. There's the bed. Go lay down." And I I could not make my body lay down, and my body just I was speed walking into a wall of windows, and I hit it, and I said, "Okay, Okay, first thing is, God, please let me get up off this floor before my mama comes and finds me. Because if she finds me down here after finding my daddy, that could take her out. And if
Mhm.
you could just, God, if you see it, I know you busy, but if you could just help me get up off of here, then I'm gonna go to the doctor and I'm gonna, I'm gonna change.
Mhm. Bargaining.
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm. Which is a part of the grieving process. We talk about that, but that's one of the emotions that you deal with depression and things of that nature. But yeah, when you literally hit a wall. I mean, to me, that's a powerful statement. When we talk about caregivers, if you could give caregivers out there 4 tips from each one of your careers.
ooh, that's
I hope
juicy.
I didn't miss one. Engineering, design, those you can probably I'll give you permission to put those two together. Uh,
The same though, but I can.
they're not the same?
It's not.
Okay. Law
Yeah.
and comedy.
Okay.
Those 4.
A tip.
Tip. One tip from each of your career paths, because I want to show you and all of our listeners and viewers how your journey, even though you think it may not, your journey does prepare you for some modicum of the caregiving responsibility.
You are
So
so right, doctor. You're so
it
right.
just does.
It
And you're
does.
gonna you gonna tell us
It
how
does.
it happens.
First of all, you are right that it does. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that before I even tell you what answer your question. I'm gonna go ahead and say you are right. Engineering. The first commandment in engineering is there's always an answer.
Mm.
Problem solving. It's all we do as engineers. There is a definitive problem and you must solve it.
Okay. Let me say this to couple that.
Okay.
Problem solving. There is an answer. For someone living with dementia, the answer is not dementia. There is a reason behind the behavior or the change. Go ahead. Number
Okay,
2.
wait. Repeat that. The way you made me repeat my number. You need to say that slowly. Look, sometimes Dr. Macy, let me tell
There,
you, you know it so well.
you
It rolls
right.
off too
You
fast.
got me.
Go slow now.
Okay. There is always a reason, right, behind the behavior. And that reason is not dementia. Dementia is the condition, not the cause, right? So because there is a reason behind the behavior, there is a what? What you do? There's a solution. And it's not dementia. So that's how that prepares you to help problem solve when Zeddy is going through something, when she has a change in behavior that could be viewed as challenging because of your degree and your expertise in that area. You know she got dementia. Put as my mama said, "Kitty by the door. Put that over there." Now, what's the reason? And now I'm about to figure out the solution. Problem solving. Okay, boom. Number 2.
Boom. Number 2, design.
Uh-oh.
In design, okay, first of all, like in engineering and in design, there are tons of specialties and things in the umbrella. And that's why I want everybody to know I am doing a huge generalization. So don't anybody get in Dr. Macy's DMs and try to break down, you know what I mean? Some PhD synthesis. I know what I'm saying. I was a mechanical engineer. Don't do that. Don't do just slow down. I'm giving real broad strokes here.
Mm-hmm.
As a designer, a major component is you are supposed to marry form and function.
Hmm.
What does that mean, Jay Smiles? It should make the user, the difference between a designer and an artist is you're designing for a person. An artist might be making it for his, or they may be it for themselves, right? And
Mhm.
whether you like it or don't like it, they don't care. A designer, you are creating it for a person to buy it or use it.
Mhm.
Form and function. It's supposed to work and they're supposed to like it. Where you going with it, Jay Smiles? There should be an element of joy or happy or at least okay or neutrality to it.
Mm.
So if you're designing and you're talking about something as a caregiver, how you prepare their plate or
Mhm.
what color, they need tennis shoes. Don't just buy whatever shoes. What was their favorite color?
Right?
Some
Preparing
part
the
of their
environment.
brain or their eyeballs remembers they only like black shoes. Why you gonna go buy them white or pink or blue shoes because they're $5 cheaper?
That's
Ask
right.
somebody else for the $5.
That's right. Preparing the environment for someone who's living with dementia as their ability diminishes. It's not gone. As their ability diminishes, you're preparing the environment that will accommodate for their loss. So that way they can maintain their independence. You still fixing something. Okay, go ahead. Number 3, no, I'm country now. Number 3, law.
Law.
Mm. You already said it, but I'm just,
Right. Law is about rules. There are rules. As a caregiver, there are rules and there are procedures. That cuts two ways. There are rules and procedures. Like, look, my good old country folks in my family would say they're patterns.
oh, 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 now that extra syllable up in there.
Patterns. But there are two ways that come to mind for me with this. Both deal with your loved one. One is in being an advocate for your loved one, which is know the rules and the policies and procedures that pertain to them, whatever city or state or hospital
Mhm.
or doctor that
That's
you're
right.
dealing with. I'm not saying you got to all of a sudden become a lawyer or that you need to understand everything that Congress is doing, but whatever the medication or the device or the wheelchair, like whatever it is that they have and they're doing, understand it. Or if you don't understand, if those kind of things aren't in your wheelhouse, who can? Who in the family or what person in the facility can understand it? The other thing around rules and procedures, I would say, is more home based or facility based. Having the rule or the procedures of what is the schedule, right? Law
Mhm.
taught me a lot about there is a time and a place. This is
Oh,
when you got to file the case. Everything is about
that's right.
deadlines, and these are the rules. So, what is bedtime? When are they eating? When's the time they take their medicine?
A
That
schedule.
schedule and that routine is so important, no matter what stage they are on the dementia or Alzheimer's spectrum, mild or advanced. Setting that schedule, what is Sunday? What do they do at 10 a.m.? What do they do at 10
That's
p.m.?
right.
It only makes it easier for you and your LO.
Hello. Hello, Elo, loved one. I love it. Now take us home with the fourth, and I just think I would have to say for me, the most effective way to continue to offer hope, love, and compassion. That comedy, baby.
Yes.
Gotta laugh to keep from crying, huh?
Hello. Um, First thing, the tag of my podcast, my Parenting Up podcast, which I have to say, the the universe, the Holy Spirit made me do the podcast. I'm Jonah in this mug. I did not
Mm.
want to do the podcast. It said you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it as a comedian for family caregivers. The Spirit gave me my audience. It gave me the title, and it told me which hat I was wearing. You're
Mm.
not an engineer or designer. You're not your mother's daughter. You're a comedian talking to other family caregivers. The tag is Alzheimer's is heavy, but we ain't gotta be.
Mm.
You're already in this. So the comedy point is, as comedians, the reason why a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, the reason why most people have comedic preferences and then they hate other stand-ups, right? Like, oh my God, I love Dave Chappelle and I hate Jerry Seinfeld. It's because you have a perspective that really hits home with you, and this other
Resonates.
stuff you think is trash or you think it's offensive. Okay, here's the point. We see funny everywhere. Every comedian thinks every freaking thing is funny. Death, cancer, throwing up, a car wreck. We can't tell y'all all the jokes we have written in our head or in our notebooks, or we tell each other, because we would all go to jail. Because everybody would say,
To jail or to hell, one.
yeah, jail and hell. We might already be going to hell. We just still alive, you know? So the thing is, if you're thinking from a comedic perspective, everything is funny. There is a bit of humor in every single thing that happens in your life, in your LO's life. So you take a beat, you take a pause. The pause is what comedians do between the setup and the punchline, because you got to wait for the audience to catch up to it. You say it and you wait. And while it's catching up and right there on the brink, and then you hit it and they're like, ah, and then it's this big laugh. The point is, why does that matter, Jay Smiles? Your LO is vibing off of your energy.
Absolutely.
No matter, again, whether they're at a mild stage or a very advanced stage, they're reading your body language, your tone, your word choice, your the strength in the volume. They know you. I don't care if it's over the phone.
Yeah.
They could be in Texas and you live in Connecticut. They know if you're not good, even if they can't say what's wrong with you, Dr. Macie. They may not be able to say it, but they are going to take it more personally because they don't know if they did or they didn't do it, or they are burdened, things of this nature. So keep it light. Keep it light, whatever it is. Make a joke out of everything. I mean, I make so many jokes. Like, my mother is currently in the hospital right now. And yeah, my mom is in the hospital right now. They came in last night, and they were, the nurse was doing something that I knew wasn't going to work. I tried to tell them, but they know better because they are nurses and they've been doing it forever. And they've had so many patients with dementia. Okay, you may have the RN, but I got a PhD in my mama. That's what you don't. Okay. And they looked, and she didn't do it. True to form, my mama didn't do it. And she looked at me, and I said, "Mama, that was garbage, wasn't it?" And she said, "Yeah, hell yeah."
Unfiltered and uncut.
Yes. Now, I gave her that big, fat, slow fastball down the plate to break her tension. It wasn't really trash. What the lady was doing was right. I didn't say, "Mama, don't give her a hard time. She's just doing her job." Why would I do that? That's not going to help my mom at all.
Right. How's she doing, Jay?
She's doing good. She should be released today or tomorrow morning. They thought it was her second stroke, but it's not. It's just a really, really tough UTI and some arthritis in her hip. But the combination had her body and her brain doing the funky thing. So, I had the nurse, I said that, and then I followed that up with a quick, "You're my favorite person in the world. I love you so much." And she got caught up in that. And so she smiled. She said, "Do you?" I said, "Heifer, I know you're not surprised after I've been sleeping on this floor with you for 4 days."
Look, she not. Look, so it's okay that if you're dealing with something heavy, keep it light.
Yes.
Lighten your burden. It's Jay Smiles, everybody. Thank you so much for being here again for the fourth unadulterated off-air segment. It's the People Station, everybody. We'll see you next week.